Hello, Definitely to Ashi 4. I am on a roll here today! No, seriously, I am. Anyway, my next creepypasta is, I think it's a Pokemon Red one, I think. But it's by Hidden Leaf Pokemon, and it's called Pokemon Creepypasta Red's Love. I don't know. Anyway, let's begin. I was different than most of the Pokemon fans I have seen. I got into Pokemon around the time of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Unlike me, who started getting into it around Red and Fire Red. Excuse me. Soul Silver was a surprise Christmas present that I got one year. I started playing it and I couldn't stop. That is, until Pokemon Black and White came out. I was ecstatic when I heard all about the new game. When I got Pokemon Black, I instantly dropped Soul Silver and started on the new game. I loved all of it. Word to delete right here says all of it. Everything was way better than Soul Silver. I even got a crush on the character N. I used to have a crush on Red, but everything I had done in Soul Silver seemed to vanish, except for my love of the Pokemon I had in the game. I eventually wanted to bring a beloved Pokemon from Soul Silver into Pokemon Black, so I tried my hardest as possible to beat the Elite Four. One day after 3 tries to beat the Elite Four, losing, I decided to go back to my Soul Silver for some nostalgia. After starting the game and skipping past the intro, I looked at the start screen, and it seemed off. I ignored the feeling, thinking it's because I haven't played the game in a while. I got up on my saved game and saw that I was in Heatreek City. Then I remembered that all I had to do was defeat Red, then I would finish the game. So I flew to Victory Road on my crowbar because I wanted to save my effort for trekking up Mount Silver. Then I flew to Mount Silver Pokemon Center. I walked into the Pokemon Center because I thought I would hurt to heal my Pokemon once more before I head up the mountain. It seemed normal at first, and then I realized no one was there. At all. There are also parts of the main room that are redder than they usually are. I got worried and ran out of the Pokemon Center, coming face to face with Blue. Or at least I thought it was Blue. He was covered with red stuff. Then text flashed up on the screen. You. Why do you look so familiar? I remember now. You're the one. You're the reason he did this to me. Then we went to a battle. I got a good look at Blue. He wasn't a pretty sight. There were what looked like deep gouges in his chest and arms. He was slightly bent with a hand on his knee like he was about to fall over. His face had scratches all over it and his eyes were wide open. Though the thing that scared me the most was his expression. He looked sad, angry, scared, and confused all at the same time. And he was covered with red stuff like before. Then it dawned on me. The Pokemon Center, blue, all that red coloring was blood. I started to freak out, trying to tell myself that it was just a game. What had happened to him? Blue had sent out a level 2 Eevee, and I saw that itself was dangerously low. All my Pokemon had extremely high levels, so I didn't worry about it too much. As I looked closer at the Eevee, I realized it looked like Blue, as it had all the gouges and scratches as he did, including all the blood. My Umbreon Shadow had come out to battle. It was taking longer to defeat Blue's Eevee than I expected, because all the Shadow attacks weren't very effective and did little damage. And a text box appeared to say, Shadow was too afraid to attack. Afraid of what? Luckily, Shadow lost little health too because of the Eevee's level, and because the same messaging appeared for Eevee. Also, Blue would come in every time I landed a hit and say stuff like, I don't get it. I was just coming to visit. Why did he do it? I thought I was his friend. And this problem must be resolved. Eventually I won and returned to the overworld sprites. Blue said, Kendall, you have to go to Red. Go solve this. Then the screen went black and in red letters it said, Blue has died. I returned to the overworld sprites. Blue was lying on the ground with his Eevee beside him. Eevee took a few steps and stopped. The screen went black again and said, Eevee has died. How did Blue know my real name? I didn't use it as my in-game trainer name. I couldn't believe that Blue and his Eevee just died. That doesn't happen in Pokemon. They just faint. Did something happen with Red? The thoughts just kept coming, but all I knew was that I had to see what was going on with Red and avenge Blue. So I started up the mountain. Excuse me, there are a few cliches in here. As I got closer and closer to the mountain, there were less Pokemon encounters and more splotches of blood on the ground and trees. At the base of the mountain, all I saw was blood and more dead Pokemon among the tall grass. I thought I was going to faint, but then I knew I had to get up the mountain to go see Red. So I kept it together and started up Mount Silver. When I made it to the top, I saw Red waiting there. When I got within 5 steps of him, an exclamation point appeared over his head, and he came over. He said, "Kendall, you're back! I missed you so much. Where were you? Did you miss me?" "I know you did. Blue said that I should forget about you. Can you believe it? But I would never do that. No, never. Hey, do you like what I did?" "Yes, no." He did all of this? All those Pokemon Mountain, the Pokemon Center, Eevee, and Blue was all he's doing. I instantly said no. Now I wish I hadn't. You don't? I felt so hurt inside. Wait, are you seeing someone else? It's that N guy, isn't it? How could you? I thought we had something special. I started to feel really bad. I didn't know why, but I did. I'll teach you not to mess with my heart. Then a battle started. Red Sprite was horrifying. He was carrying a Charizard head and hugging it close to his chest. Excuse me. He had a knife in his pocket and he was covered with blood. His eyes were open wide and he had an evil smile. He sent out his Pikachu. It was very dead and covered with blood. It looked so sad and scared. His level was 100 and his nickname was Kendall. That was creepy, but not surprising. I had sent out Shadow. Even though Kendall was low on health, it didn't matter. I couldn't even land a single hit. The same missions that came when I battled Blue showed up every time I tried to fight, though I thought it might just be Shadow. Kendall used a strange move, Heartbreak. I heard Shadow emit a sad cry and his health bar dropped a lot. Kendall then used another strange move, Betrayal. Another sad cry came from Shadow when his health dropped to 0. Shadow's sprite then fainted. Shadow had died of a broken heart. I was so sad. I felt like I lost a part of me. The same happened for all of other 4 Pokemon. Crowbar, Rage, my Gyarados, Runner, my Rapidash, and Mindless, my Dodrio all died of a broken heart. Next was my Typhlosion, Sin. No! I cried out. I didn't want to lose him. I couldn't lose him. He was a part of me. Red answered, "Oh, really? Well, I'll show you the nice person I am and give you another chance. Will you love me forever?" Yes, no. I was afraid that if I said no, he would kill Sin and do something worse to me. I said yes. Red let me go, and all my Pokemon were perfectly healthy and alive. Don't forget our date tomorrow, right here, 7. I couldn't live anymore. I couldn't see anyone without his permission. Even if I could, I always saw him. He's everywhere, but no one believes me. They all think I'm crazy. They told me to stop playing Pokemon. That just made him angry. They all died the next day. Then the others thought it was me. Thank you, Red. You've made me so happy. You're welcome, Kendall. Anything for my love. Yeah, I don't know what to think of this one. Pretty creepy there. I mean, you've seen some crazy stuff. I mean, Glitchy Red was my favorite. I might do a reading on that one, though it's one of the more popular ones. And there's this other one that I read based off of Glitchy Red, but with the, as people quote unquote say for Fire Red, the red replica, or Fire as some people just call him. He's in there as well, and he gained self-awareness. Though right now I'm trying to find it, so I can't read it for you until I find it. But I'll find it sooner or later. Anyway, Hidden Leaf Pokemon. I thought it was really good. Though, like I said, it creeps me out because this is the first time I ever saw a sociopathic and psychopathic Red that basically went psychotic and killed everyone who tried to get in his way of trying to get Kendall, or the player in this way. So, I really thought it was good. So, this is Defadarashi signing out.